Hello, everyone. This is the iBUG Buzz conference call for Monday, May 24th, 2021. I'm Keith. I will be your facilitator along with Sandhya tonight. As many of you know, this is an open forum question and answer help session for everything iOS and related devices such as the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and the various accessories that go along with those devices, such as Bluetooth keyboards, Bluetooth headphones, etc. This call is being recorded, so we ask everybody, when you're not speaking, please stay on mute. This call is being recorded for our archives, as well as Sight into Sound takes clips from this call and creates a program for themselves to air on Sight into Sound, and we do thank them for that. Also, you can go to your favorite podcast catcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Downcast, Overcast, and you can search for iBUG Buzz, and you'll be able to play this recording on your podcast app. You can also ask that other lady to play iBUG Buzz. As I mentioned, this call is being recorded. There are several ways to mute. If you're on the iPhone using the Zoom app on the iPhone, at the lower left-hand corner, you'll find a toggle on and off button. On the iPad, that toggle is at the upper center of the screen. If you're on a Mac computer, you can press Command Shift A, or excuse me, Command Shift A. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And then Alt A on a PC, and then star 6 on a regular phone. All right, we will take a minute and get our announcements for the week. If the iBUG guy himself would like to share the upcoming announcements. Are you ready,
baby,
Michael?
I'm here.
Did that sound like Heather or Ava?
Oh, dear.
Are you ready, Michael?
I'm here, darling.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. We've got a week of many things going on in the iBUG world, starting tomorrow, Tuesday, May 25th. At 5 p.m. Central Time, join us on Clubhouse. We will have our regular Tuesday iBUG mini buzz on Clubhouse, and that's just a shorter version of this same thing we're doing here tonight, an open Q&A help session. Then at 7 p.m. that same evening, later in the evening, 7 p.m. Central Time, join us for the iBUG Mac and Talk, facilitated by Chanel Allen. There will be, that's an open Q&A session for anyone with Mac questions or issues. And that's always a good time. Then Wednesday. Well, we don't have anything Wednesday.
That's what I was going to say.
How about Thursday?
Thursday's really good.
Let's go to Thursday. We have another Clubhouse event. This is a first-time event that we have coming up on Clubhouse. It's called It's a Bug's Life. It's iBug's Life. It's a Bug's Life. iBug's. I'm trying to say it so it sounds like. Anyway, It's a Bug's Life. And that's our new conversations about living skills for the blind and visually impaired. And that's facilitated by George Batiste. And that will happen usually the fourth Thursdays of the month. And this one's going to be a special one since it's the first time and people are out starting to get out doing things. So George thought he would go out and go on a shopping adventure. And we will get to experience that live with him on Clubhouse. And that will be at 6 p.m. Central Time. Then we'll be, our next thing coming up, it'll be Friday night. We all know what Friday nights, we've been doing this for over a year now. And that's our iBUG night at the virtual movies. 7:30 p.m. the pre-social, 8 p.m. for the movie. And actually, we're going to do something a little different this week. We're going to start out with a little game. Since it's kind of in continuation of our 10-year anniversary celebration, what we thought we would do is the first, 15, 20 minutes or so, we'll play a little game, and it will be we'll play little clips from movies that we've played over the last year, and just have a chance to try to guess what movie those little clips are from. So we'll try that out. And then we'll start the movie probably around 8:15-ish, something like that. And if you want to know what the movie's going to be, stick around till the what do we call it? The halftime show here later in this meeting. Then you get the weekend off. There won't be anything going on related to iBUG.
Wait, we'll come back next Monday, though. We're not off on Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah, Memorial Day, we will be meeting in the evening. So everyone have a safe Memorial Day weekend, but we'll be here that evening for this very same program. So that's it for
Wait, tell them about the Apple Watch.
the announcements.
Tell 'em
Apple Watch, it's over.
Yeah,
It's-
but tell them who won.
It's done. It's done. Oh, yes, we gave away we had the Apple Watch drawing Saturday, and our lucky winner, I think he's on tonight,
He's on tonight.
but he was too busy celebrating his birthday
Some people.
at some ridiculous NASCAR thingy. And so he could not join us on the celebration, but we were honest and still chose the number that happened to be by his name, and that is Brad Snyder, one of our other facilitators. And so we congratulate Brad, and he will be sporting a new Apple Watch soon.
Well, we'd like to also thank everybody again that supported us and with this adventure. So thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. We had quite a few people that entered that, so thank you. All right, I think that's it. Now, I got to tell you, if you can't remember anything going on, you can always go to our website, ibugtoday.org, find out what we have going on at any time, and find all those recordings of all these training sessions that Keith mentioned. Find out about the Jumpstart mentoring program if you want some one-on-one training if you're a brand new user to the iPhone. And I think that's all. Oh, we have a Facebook group. You can always go, if you have questions, come up in between these sessions, Monday night sessions, or any of the other sessions, you can always go to facebook.com/groups/iBUG today, post your question there. Oh, and we would love for you to follow us on Twitter. Handle is @iBUG today. Lots of good announcements and tweets and retweets about iBUG and the Appleverse and other tech-related thingies. So now I am done.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I was starting to think you were saying we're going to do something new. I was thinking maybe we're going to have a movie where the star wears a fedora or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's never happened.
Never, never. And I do encourage everybody to go listen to Saturday's 10th year anniversary celebration. It was a lot of fun. and definitely a good time was had by all. And
Yeah, that's a
At
good
this-
point, Keith. It is posted on our website already. It's up on either, you can get it on the front page, or you can go to the regular podcast page and find the recording there. I think it's posted also on the Facebook groups page. So lots of places where you can find the link to the recording.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Michael. Now, at this time, we'll go around, and if you would, tell us who you are and where you're from. And I'll start off. I'm Keith in Austin, and you can unmute yourself and tell us who you are.
It's
Mark
Shelby
in
in
Montreal.
Baytown.
Mark in Montreal.
Shelby and Mark.
Michelle, Albany, Georgia.
Hello. Welcome.
This is
Elisa
Herbie
and
in Temple,
Porter.
Texas.
Isaac and who was the next one?
Elisa and Porter.
Hi, Lisa.
This is Herbie in Houston.
Chanel in Houston.
Hello, this is Weber, also from Houston.
This is
Oh,
Ned
Dan
from
from
Kyle,
San Diego.
Texas.
Ned and who else?
Ed and Dan. Dan.
All right.
Okay.
Dana in Denver.
Dave.
Wait a minute. Denver, this is Roy in Fort Worth.
All right, Roy. Okay.
Anyone
This is
else?
Joe
Hello, Joe.
in Oklahoma.
This is Brad, and I survived my lost weekend, and I'm back in Dallas.
All right. Anyone else?
This is Sandhya from
Jody in New
Houston.
Hampshire.
Oh, sorry.
Jody?
Sorry, Sandra.
It's Gail in Houston. Where am I?
Yeah, you're good. Welcome. Yes. Okay. Anybody else?
This is Jim in PA. Who am I and why am I here?
Who knows?
You'll find out in a minute.
This is Jake from Michigan.
Jake.
Hey, Jake.
Hello.
Linda in rainy Humble.
All right.
I'm Chris with Linda and Humble.
Hello, Chris.
Susan Sumler from Houston.
Welcome.
Good evening, Keith. Good to hear you.
Thank you.
David from Houston.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, y'all keep coming.
I know. We're so happy. All right. Anybody else?
And we heard from the iBUG guy.
Yeah.
This is
All right.
Shree from Virginia.
Oh, there he is.
This is Nava, first time caller from California.
All
All right.
right. Oh, great. Call it. You're not muted. Okay.
All right. Sounds like we have a good crowd. We'll go ahead, and sounds like we have 2 or 3 new callers, first time callers. I know Mava and maybe Weber. We'll start with Mava. How did you hear about us, Mava?
I happen to be Sri's brother.
Okay.
So I was visiting after I got my shots to make a trip over to the DC area.
All right. And Mava, what kind of devices do you have? Do you have any Apple devices?
I have the iPhone.
Okay. What model?
I don't want to say the model number.
No, it's good. If it works, it's good.
No, it's 6 Plus.
Oh, there you go. That's a good phone. Very good. Welcome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I believe Weber might be a first-time caller. If you would like to unmute yourself. And
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been to one of group activities here, and Michael was there to talk about his wonderful hiking in Machu Picchu. So was very cool. And then I have the opportunity to talk to Michael, I think 2 weeks ago. And then I mean, I'm pretty much an Android user, to be honest, but I do have an iPhone iPhone 12 that I use for work, and I confess that I'm not good at it. So I'm beginning in this meeting, also beginning in the iPhone world.
Well, that's okay. You're in the right place. Welcome.
Great, thank you.
All right. Are there any other first-time callers? All right. Just to let everybody know, we do not use the raise hand feature here on Zoom. So we do encourage everyone to ask questions and make comments. That's what drives this call. And if you do want to ask a question or make a comment, please announce your name. All you have to do is announce your name, but wait on either Sandhya or myself to acknowledge you. And once we acknowledge you, you can take the floor. Just please don't blurt out a question or an answer. Just wait on us. That way we can kind of keep general order here on the call and keep the audio quality good for the recordings. All right. And also, like I mentioned before, just please be aware of your muting and unmuting and your background noise. If you have a lot of background noise, just kind of try to find a time when you can come in with a little less noise. And also, if you ask a question, just kind of wait a little bit and we'll come back around. If you have another question, same goes with comments. We just try to spread the love. So with that said, let's get started. Anybody have a question or a comment about iOS?
Elisa.
Hi, Lisa, go ahead.
So when I came into the call, it said that it said, okay, I know the meeting's being recorded, but it said something meeting is being recorded, continue, and I don't know what it was doing.
Right. It sounds like there was just an
Shelby.
update. Go ahead.
It said this meeting is being recorded. Would you like to be recorded? And it had like a little continue button. Is there an
Right.
update on the
Yeah,
app?
it did that on my computer just now. I think it's the new update on the Zoom.
Yeah, there was a brand new update, and that was one of the features in this new update is the just to let you know that this call is being recorded. And if you do not mind being recorded, you can just press continue and it'll bring you into the
Well, I pushed the
room.
continue button, but I was like, what is that for?
There you go. It just gives you a chance to.
That was my only concern. I was like, am I just seeing this or are other people seeing this too?
Everybody that updated should be seeing that. Very good. That'll help everybody.
This is Michelle Jenkins. I seen the same thing too when I came in. Basically, it's the new, I think it's the new update on Zoom.
Right.
That's what it is. If it says your meeting, that this meeting is now recorded, it's being recorded, is basically letting you know what y'all about to start or however.
Right. And there's some people that just gives you the chance to exit the call if you do not like to be recorded.
This
Just
is
an
Sri.
alert. Go ahead, Sri.
I'm gonna assume that this is probably gonna happen every time, correct? This is just not a one-time configuration.
Yeah, I would think so. As long as the host is
Yeah, this is
recording, I'm
Elisa's.
sure that
It's
it
gonna
will.
happen all the time. I agree with Shree because this is weird.
Very good. All right. New question. New concern, issue, app use this week.
This is Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
Just to answer Shree's question, so I just tested this out literally right after you asked the question, and yes, it did bring up the dialogue when I came back in, so I think you can expect to see it every time, for now at least. Maybe they'll fix it so that you can check a box that says, don't show me this again for this call or something like that in the future, but...
Makes sense.
This is Ibrahim.
David.
Go ahead, Ibrahim.
I just wanted to mention that they also added a way so now when you want to mute and unmute, you don't have to hit that button. You can just use the magic tap, double tap, and that will unmute and mute yourself.
Oh, very good.
I just tried that, and that's how I got back into talk.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for that. David?
Oh, hey, yeah, well, when you used to call in, it would just have a recording saying this meeting is being recorded, kind of like we had on the old pre-conference call.
Right.
That lady would just, but it's very easy to miss because people are talking over it. So I think they probably did this to give people more of a heads up that the meeting would be recorded.
This is Sri.
Yeah, go ahead, Sri.
I was just going to respond to Abraham. I believe that feature used to work. I mean, it used to work before, but I do want to caution people that if they're not using the internet dial-in, if they're just using a phone line, they're using an iPhone, it's probably going to disconnect the call.
That's a good thought. And also just make sure you have the latest and greatest update for sure. Very good. Good tips. All right. New question, new comment.
This is Jerry from Vermont. How are you, Keith?
All right. Go ahead, Jerry.
Good.
Thank you for asking.
I am, and I want to say hello to everybody because I wasn't in the beginning. But the question that I have is, I have been going back and forth with Apple Accessibility about the way Braille displays interact with iOS regarding email. Now, when I write a group email, when I have to write, everybody's name and, then it used to be comma, it used to be enter, and you could make a whole list of names and then send it. And, you click on the buttons and it would join. You join all those people to your little group and send your email to them. Well, what's happened, and I think it's since the last update on iOS, is that I have two active Braille displays now. I have the Focus 40 and I have the Orbit Writer, not the reader, but the writer. And every time, and I work this out with Apple Accessibility, what happens is I write the list of names, and when I look back to see that everybody's included on the list, everything is deleted except one or two. And it's the weirdest thing. But I've called them and they don't have an answer right now. They thought maybe the update would fix it, the last update, but it did not fix it.
This is Herbie.
So, yeah, Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
Have you checked? Because sometimes it'll do things like it could put, like all those names in like a separate window. So have you looked all around the screen, or have you even done an experiment? Okay, maybe it's not showing me stuff, but I'm going to send this email anyway and see if it gets to everybody. I mean, don't do it with that list. Do it with 2 or 3 people just as a test. But have you done any of that?
Well, I have not, because when I went into the Apple Accessibility folks, I did that, and what he saw on my screen when we were screen sharing is the emails that were on there were the ones that got sent after the 5 or 6 of them got deleted.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not try that. However, what does work is if you type them in and then it brings up any other occurrence on not that window, but the button, not the 2 window, but where it says button for all the people.
Right.
Then you can do it and you can send it to everybody. But Braille Display, I have not tried that piece yet. But it's, as far as I'm concerned, on the Mac it works perfectly. I just put
right.
I think it's a comma.
So I
or
was thinking
enter,
of the
enter.
Mac layout, but yeah, okay, that was my thoughts on that.
But the I have to do that on the Mac layout till they fix it, I guess. Or I can actually type it in with the keyboard on the phone itself, the internal phone keyboard, and then it will work. But it's weird.
Is there any other way that, could it be something to do with the way the Braille display is seeing the enter key? Is there a different way to do enter or anything like that?
No, it's
okay.
It will do. It won't use the enter as a return. It will. If you're in a message, not a mail message, but a text message, it'll send you a message when you hit the enter key.
This is Jim from
other? Go ahead, Jim.
I have a
I don't know, you might try this, and I don't even know if it works because I don't have a Braille display yet. But what about if you created a file in Notepad, in your Notepad, and then just
Notes,
put
yeah.
and then put the email addresses in with your delimiter, your comma,
Yeah.
to separate them, then do
Yeah.
a select all and then paste them into the BCC field or CC field, whichever.
That's a thought. That's a thought.
It might work for you that way. Because
That's
I
a
know
thought.
there are issues around Braille keyboards and emails. Are you
Yeah.
able to compose your email with the body of the email using the Braille keyboard? Okay, good.
Yes, and the subject and
Okay, so it's just
when I'm putting this group of people in, I can
yeah,
send an email to one person,
right,
maybe two people if I really
Right.
get lucky.
right. But if you like I say, if you and then what you could do is then just save that notes file as a permanent file. That way, the next time you wanted to send it out to that group again, all you'd have to do is go into that file, do a select and copy and paste.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that
Gotcha.
might be
Try
worth
that.
a try
Yeah.
for sure. Just keeping them all together and putting them in all at one time may prevent it from deleting those others. But I do it the old-fashioned way. And plus, I use a regular keyboard, just one at a time. Put a space in between it. Hit the results button on the side. So that's I'm definitely gonna try that out with the commas now.
Right.
But yeah, I would. That's what I would try. Just try to put them all in together at
Yeah,
one
it depends.
time.
It depends what it will accept as a delimiter, to separate each
Yeah,
email.
Yeah, and that changes. Like on the
Right.
Mac, it's enter. I think it's enter on the Mac, and it's sometimes it's comma on the phone, and that's I don't know. It's just the
Yeah,
weirdest thing.
because I know an L it used to be comma or semicolon. Yeah. Anyway,
Thanks, guys.
and that
This is
two-finger
Sri.
double tap to mute and unmute. It worked when I unmuted.
Very good.
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead, Sri. You have any ideas?
I was just gonna say, in the iOS, it's a comma.
It's a comma. I thought so, Sri. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, I do it the old-fashioned way, one by one, and just hit the results on the same time or same side on the side. So yeah, that's hopefully if that's a bug, it gets fixed pretty quick.
This is Herbie. The new, kind of going back to the double tap to mute thing. I actually had a question about that.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie.
So I'm assuming that only works when you are in the app. If you were to do the magic tap, if you were out, I'm on the computer right now, so I can't try it. But if you were elsewhere on the screen, I'm assuming that double tap would instead act as a hang up. But I wasn't. Does anybody know if that's the case or not?
I would think that the app would have to be open. Do you know, Sri?
Well, like you have to be in the app window, is what I meant.
Right, that's what
Susan?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, I used to two-finger double tap all the time on my iPad. What I've noticed that I had to swipe for it to say unmuted, and then I could double tap and it unmuted, and then I could double tap again when I want to unmute it, like I have right now, because I'm going to want a question as soon as y'all are done.
Supposedly with this new update to Zoom, you can actually do the two-finger magic tap to mute and unmute. So you do not have to swipe down.
Tap?
Yeah, the two-finger magic tap, the two-finger double tap.
And also, I don't use the app to do that. I just have the home page. It comes into the email that y'all send out, and I copied it and pasted it and put it in a new contact. And so I just double tap on that, and here I am, and then I can still do the double tapping.
Very good. All right, new question.
Anyway,
This is Ibrahim.
Go ahead, Ibrahim.
Well, just to go back to the Zoom format, I'm gonna ask the question, but I just tried double tapping outside the app, and it doesn't do anything. So I'm guessing it doesn't work at all when they're on the main home screen. Just for
Yeah,
the
that
Zoom.
makes sense. Makes sense
Yeah.
because it controls so many other things.
Yeah. My question
Susan?
was though.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Go,
Go ahead,
go ahead,
Ibrahim.
IB.
yeah, I had asked, so that I was gonna ask a question when we're done with the two tapping, but anyway.
Ibrahim, does it have to do with Zoom?
No, it doesn't. I just wonder if you should go first or not.
All right, yeah, let's go to Susan, then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Susan.
All right, thanks. I have a lot of trouble using the rotor, and it's so irritating. I'll be working on something, say like I select something and I copy, and then I go to edit. If edit does show up, if it does, then I copy, and then when I go to use edit again so I could paste, there's no more edit. And it happens even with text selection and other things disappears.
Right.
But that edit is, to me, is the one I use a lot. Well, you know,
Right.
more than text selection, if that's the correct word. But how do you get it back? Can
Well,
you get
the
it
thing
back
with
real fast?
the thing with the rotor, I mean, it's going to have exactly what you can use at the time, and to use the edit, and for the edit to appear in the rotor, you have to be in an activated text field. So if, say, you cut something out of a text message, and then if you go into notes, that edit will not show back up until you double tap and activate that notes field. Or say you're going from notes to, like we were talking about before,
Right.
to a email address line. You know, while the line is not activated, that edit
Right.
will not show up until you double tap and activate
Yeah,
it.
I do that. Even someone else that comes over, we work together at times, and we've noticed that hundreds of times. I have a whole bunch of folders with notes in notes, and I would open up a new note and double tap on it, you know, to activate it or whatever word you call it. And then I want to paste it, but there's no edit. So how do you hunt it down? Is there a way to make it stay in that rotor, or
No.
if you need it right now,
No,
then
I mean,
what do you
like
do?
they built the rotor to, like I said, it will only have the functions that are available at that given space and time. And unless a edit field or a text field is activated, that edit will not show up in the rotor. So just the best thing to do is to make sure your text field is activated. And if it's not showing up, maybe swipe until you find another text field, double tap it, then come back into that text field just to kind of reset it. But it has to have a text field activated for it to show up.
Yeah,
Any
like I
other
said, I know
ideas?
that, but it just, like I keep saying, it disappears before you can finish your job, because when you're selecting something, that's easy. To copy something, sometimes the edit is no longer there, you know, or sometimes the paste isn't there.
Like I
So
said, just make sure
This
you
is
have
Shri.
that text field activated. Who was
I guess
somebody was right before you, Sheree.
I was just Jerry from Vermont.
Hey, go ahead,
again.
Jerry.
I just wanted to say every morning I do a whole bunch of medical, health readings in one app, which is my diabetes app. And what I have to do there, and it's very strange, but what I have to do there, and I'm talking about using just the phone now, no keyboards, okay, is I finish writing what I want in that text field. I absolutely stay in that text field, and I go to I go to the edit field and it says select all. If that's, you want to do the whole thing, you go to select, it'll say select all, and edit should stay after you select all, right under where you are. The rotor won't move until you flick down and you say copy or look up or whatever. It should stay right there. I don't know what kind of phone you have or iPad or whatever, but if you don't go out of that text field, now I've flicked right by accident and gone to cancel, and the edit field indeed is gone. So I have to flick left again to go back into my reading. And then I send the thing to my daughter and my wife with the readings that I had in the morning in a message. So it pastes beautifully, but you have to open the message text field and, you know, or wherever you're going. And then
I'm aware of that. I'm an eighth generation iPad, and I also use the Magic Keyboard, so I do a little bit of both.
Let's see if Shree has any ideas. Shree?
So anyway.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is whenever you're in the text field, you want to hear insertion point at start or insertion point at end. If you don't hear that, you've not invoked the text edit portion of it. So
yeah, I always hear that. I pay close attention. And one more little thing about this is that there are times that I don't need I don't want to select all. Say like there's a piece of information in the email that I need, but I don't need the entire thing.
Right.
And anyway, that could be pretty hard to select. Anyway, that's all I have to ask. Thanks, y'all.
This is Shree.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Shree.
I was going to say, if you're having issues with the rotor and you're not finding it, you could also do a one finger double tap. One finger double tap and hold and flick left. You're also going to get the paste option there. So you could try that.
That takes some gymnastics to get to that.
It does. You just remember, it's one finger double tap. One finger double tap and hold, and then you're going to flick left.
One finger double tap and swipe left.
No, one finger double tap and hold till you hear that gesture gets performed. You'll hear it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my brain is on slow. Say that slower. One tap.
One finger double tap and hold. You're going to hear an audible gesture, an audible sound. Then you're going to flick left, and one of the options you should get is if you copied it, it's going to say paste.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Okay, thank you.
That's definitely good, Tree. I've noticed some websites.
That's a great
text fields that
thank y'all very much.
That you are not able to paste in for whatever reason, and I've had to do the double tap and hold. And like I said, it takes some work to finally figure out where to swipe and to get on it. But when you swipe, just double tap. Paste is the first thing you should hear. So just double tap that, and that should get you done. Very good. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Shree.
I thought he said one finger hold. And,
one finger double tap and hold.
Until it makes some kind of a sound or something.
Yeah,
or whatever.
You'll hear the audio, the sound.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. And if that doesn't work, I'll buy some super glue.
Kathy, does it have
It's
to
the
do
same
with this
issue.
question? Okay, go ahead.
I have the same problem and I can't talk. And I wonder if there's a better order to have things in on the rotor, because when I go around the rotor, it seems like at first I hit the Braille and that bounced into Braille keyboard, and then I go around and it gets to the next thing. And it seems like I have to go a long way around to get back to edit. And sometimes is there anywhere that's best to put edit?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I don't know that it's the best, but it works for me. I have, if there's no activities or nothing that's in the app itself that comes up, mine usually lands on characters, and I have characters, words, and lines all together. And just to the left of that, I have text selection. And then just to the left of that, I have edit. So I have all those things that I will need to edit right there together. That way, if I need to move up or down through text, it's right there with the characters, words, or lines. And then I can swipe over to text select whatever I need, and then swipe over or do the rotor left to my edit, and just having them right there together, like you say, just keeps you from having to spin the rotor to find edit, and you can always go into the voiceover settings down to rotor and reorder those. And I'll tell you, it seems like I have characters at the top of the list, and it took a little time to move stuff and then go to the rotor and figure out exactly how it moved it. But eventually, you'll be able to get it in the order that's comfortable with you or to you. I also have like sounds, auto ducking, and volume all right there together. So all the similar stuff I try to group together.
Okay, yeah, that helps. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Jerry, we'll go back to you. Did you? Jerry?
Yep, right here.
Did you have a new question?
It's Abraham.
Oh, Abraham? Yeah, go ahead, Abraham. It was you, I think.
Okay, sorry. Ibrahim.
I was wondering what's the best way to refresh my podcast. I'm using Overcast. I'm trying to refresh the feed.
Overcast. I know there's some Overcast users on here. Anybody familiar with Overcast? I think
This is
Brad's
Herbie.
an Overcast. Herbie, go ahead.
So Overcast should refresh automatically.
I think it might be, but I don't know because there's one podcast I listen to a lot and it's not updated, even though the host told me that he has added new podcast episodes. I'm not sure what's going on.
So one thing you can do with Overcast is there's 3 different categories. There's and of course I don't have my phone in front of me.
Ibrahim, one thing you can do, and it's been a while since I've been in Overcast, but if there's tabs at the bottom, you can always tap the tab again and see if that will refresh it. Also, try a 3-finger swipe down, and a lot of times that will refresh in different apps. I know I use the regular Apple Podcast a lot, and those work in the Apple Podcast
I've used that
app.
as well. I'm not seeing a new podcast there either, so I'm just wondering if it's a bug or something.
This is David.
Go ahead, David.
There is a tab at the top that says like downloads. It'll show you if there's any like pending.
Okay.
If you then double tap on downloads, it'll show you like what's pending, and you can see if it says like failed or
there you go,
or it might just still be waiting. Every now and then I have some that kind of don't update as fast, and I don't know if it's because of the podcast provider they're using or but
I think I'll try the 3-finger swipe down Keith mentioned.
I mean, I have like the background refresh turned on, so it automatically does it as they come out.
Okay.
Like just continuously updates them as they come out during the day because they update all day long, you know, depending on.
And you might also go to their website if they have one and see if they have the latest podcast on their website. If it's not there, then
what happens when I go to the website? They ask me to choose like a podcatcher to see the podcast. So this one is Apple Podcast. I subscribe to it in that one, and this episode is like last year, and the person told me he has added new ones. So
this is
I know. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, I was able to refresh myself now. So basically, there are 3 little tabs in Overcast.
Okay.
There's unplayed, there's all, and then there's settings. So if you go to the all tab, that should display all podcasts that are on the page. Because what could be happening is maybe it thinks you've played some of the new podcasts that they've uploaded. So I would go to the all tab.
Okay.
There are some things you can do in settings. I don't necessarily see a refresh option, but I would go to the all tab first within the podcast, and it'll show you everything that is available on the feed. So.
Okay, and I think I'll do that and also try to swipe down to see if it does that as well.
Yeah, and like I said, if you can always tap that tab again, and I know in other apps that just tapping the tab twice usually refreshes things. So give those
Is
a
that
try
how
and
is
let
that
us
how it's
know.
done in Apple Podcasts?
It varies. There's been a new update to Apple Podcast, and it's a learning curve right now.
Okay.
This is
Very
Stephen.
good. Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, since we're on Overcast, first of all, I have officially dumped Apple Podcasts because I've never been a big fan of it in the first place, but with this latest update, I've had it. So
Fair enough.
I have dumped it, but I was thinking of downloading Overcast.
Does she know that?
What's that?
I said, does she know that?
Yeah, she will. She will soon enough. But I was thinking of downloading Overcast, and because I've heard so much about it, is it fully accessible? I mean, it sounds like it's easy to use, but is it
This is
fully
Herbie.
accessible?
This is Brad.
Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I use Overcast. I've been using it for a while. I find it 100% accessible. The guy who develops the app, they communicate with him a lot on the Apple Insider, and he's very aware of voiceover accessibility and goes out of his way to make sure his app is completely accessible. It's a really good app. I've been using it for a couple of years. I gave up on the Apple Podcast app. God, I don't know, iOS 11. I just got fed up with it. I know it has been broken in 14.5. The 14.6 came out today. Perhaps they fixed it. I don't know. I know they introduced their ability for I can't remember the proper term, podcasts who have fee-based podcasts for them
subscription-based ones.
Yeah,
right,
subscription.
right.
That debuted in the update today, so perhaps they fixed it. I don't know, but I'm with Overcast, so I'm very happy.
Are there
with
any
it.
negatives or just any like downsides to?
I guess you
any
can't
of it?
use these new features, but I mean, there's ads
This
that,
is Herbie.
podcasts that contain ads. I just hit the fast forward and move ahead a minute or 2 minutes or whatever it takes.
Go ahead, Avery.
I find Overcast to be very flexible. I guess the downside would be if you use, like, if you're in the Mac environment and you have you're using iTunes to download your podcasts on multiple devices. I don't think you can do that with Overcast. I know you can create an account so you can access your stuff again, like on the web interface or whatever. But I guess it really depends on what do you want your podcast app to do, first of all. I guess maybe the negative is won't be able to access the paid content that Apple Podcasts will be providing.
Yeah.
So if that matters to you, that would, could be a negative. But
Okay.
I mean, you can tell it to play or stream or download. You can tell it to automatically download stuff. There's a lot of things you can do. So I think it really ultimately depends on what do you want your app to do. But it can, it can even skip chapters, and I don't know if the cafe is still up because Keith and I think somebody else, I'm sorry if who I'm forgetting. I think we did a demo on various podcasts app.
Yeah, I remember that. I think. a while
Okay,
back.
yeah, you were there for that because Keith did podcasts and I did Overcast. And I think that Overcast is just a very completely flexible app, and I really like it. So, like,
Very good.
Brad.
This is
Steven, it sounds it's worth a try. I think I'm going to join you.
Well, you know what? I just got a text from Apple Podcasts. I think she's on the iBUG call, and she heard it, so she's mad.
You hurt her feelings.
Yep, I'm not done for now.
Go
Thanks,
ahead,
guys.
Brad.
I appreciate it.
I was going to say there's a paid option in Overcast for some additional features. It's pretty low. I've never tried it. It's like $10 a year.
Oh,
so and I believe it allows you to. I'm not even going to say it's some added features that I've never messed with just because I just wanted it to be a less aggravating experience than dealing with the Apple Podcast app, and I've been just happy with the free version for my uses. I'm not one that listens to podcasts on
Is
a
Ibrahim?
computer. I'm happy with my iOS device, and then I move around and carry it with me in my pocket or whatever. But
Yeah, and
Herbie
I
said,
listen
it's
a lot
however
on
you
my
listen to them.
yeah, I listen a lot on my smart speakers anyway. But when I do use an app on the phone or something, it'd be nice to have one. But I just got too frustrated with,
Go
I
ahead,
hear you.
Ibrahim, and this will be the.
I wanted to say the features you get with the Overcast Pro is that you don't get ads, and you can also upload your own MP3s and things like that to like the crowd storage for the subscription in Overcast.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. Overcast sounds like it might be worth trying if you are not using it. All right. Thank you, Stephen. Any new questions?
Linda,
Go ahead, Linda.
can anyone tell me where I can go to find an exercise class for the blind, either via Zoom or Clubhouse or podcast?
Ooh.
This is Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Linda. There's an app that Marion did a demo on a while back, a few months ago, called Aptiv, AAPTIV. It has a lot of strictly audio classes, and they're really good. So you might want to. It's a fee, you have to pay for it, but it's a very good app.
This is
Right.
Herbie.
Could you spell it again?
AAP as in Paul, T as in Tom, IV as in Victor.
Great, thank you.
I can actually send you a link for that if you want a discounted version, like somebody else on this call has gotten a discounted version of it too. So
wow, cool.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Networking.
This is Herbie.
Like it. Go ahead, Herbie.
Just another reminder. Now, I have not used either one, so this is not an endorsement. But I know that Apple Fitness also has its own thing that you do have to pay for, and I know they have a wide range of classes. I think I've heard varying degrees on how accessible it is, and it probably depends on the exercise. But I think you can do a lot of customization with it as well. But I don't know how it is compared to the other app that Chris mentioned, or which is better or not. So, but that is another option.
This is Shri.
It's Ibrahim.
Go ahead, Shri. Go ahead,
I was just
Shri.
going to say, the American Council of the Blind, they also offer a number of blind exercises. So you can check it out on their website.
Very good. Ibrahim.
Mark in Montreal.
I think Ibrahim had something. Then we'll go to you, Mark.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to ask if that app could be put on the Facebook group, the active app.
Chris, are you on the Facebook group?
I'm sorry, I am not on the Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, just curious.
But
We'll get
other
somebody
people
to put
are
it
on
up
this
there.
call.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get somebody to put it up there for you. Go
Okay,
ahead, Mark.
Audio now unmuted. Okay, different question, different topic.
Sure,
That's
go ahead.
okay? All
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
All right. Question about emojis and people using emojis. Is there a way to access your emoji keyboard if you're using your Bluetooth keyboard, and then from there to go to the search field for your emojis if you're using your Bluetooth keyboard? I know how to do it on the
Yes.
phone, but I'm wondering if there's a shortcut way to do
Mark,
it with Bluetooth.
I just found out this week myself because that has drove me crazy trying to get to the emojis when I'm using my keyboard. But does anybody else know how to get to the emoji keyboard when you're using the Bluetooth keyboard? All right. Well, I will loosely tell you, I believe it is Control Space. It's one of the keys to the left of the space bar. I haven't nailed it down exactly which one it is. I just get so excited when I press it and I hear Emoji Keyboard. And then, of course, when you get on the keyboard, you can use your arrow keys, I believe, to get, or I'll tell you what I do is I go ahead and go up to my message and see what replacements are available. But if you try control space bar, it should activate that keyboard. If it's not
Ultimately,
control,
This is
it might be
Herbie.
option.
yeah. Ultimately,
Mark.
what I want to do is put 2 emojis into my Clubhouse account, and I don't know whether I'd probably put them at the beginning. A white cane one, and I can't remember what the hell the other one I wanted to put in, but
Yeah, I would recommend go up to that search field and search for it instead of having to swipe through that whole
This is
emoji
Herbie.
keyboard. Go ahead, Herbie.
What I was going to suggest is when you get to the Bluetooth keyboard, have you tried using like the letter F to get to the search field? Like kind of using some quick keys to see if that would be even. I don't use the Bluetooth keyboard on the phone, but I would think some of the shortcut keys might get you to that edit field even quicker than having to arrow through and whatnot.
so what was the key you mentioned, Herbie? Sorry.
Like F or E, one of those.
Okay.
And if it's like F goes through form fields, I would think that would at least get you to, once you get to the Bluetooth, the emoji keyboard, then using like
Okay.
VOF or VOE might get you to the
Right.
search field faster. That's something I would try at least.
Okay.
Worth a try.
Well, worth a shot. Thanks very much, both of you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. All right.
This is Jerry from Vermont.
Go ahead, Jerry.
I just wanted to add that what I usually do is get myself to the tabs at the bottom of the key. When I'm using a Bluetooth keyboard, go right to the bottom, and then VO left arrow, and it definitely takes you there eventually. I think it's dictate and I forget what the middle one is, but you finally get to the keyboard that you're on, which is usually letters or numbers, and then
Right.
it'll tell you emoji keyboard eventually when you push that. That takes 2 seconds. If you just remember to go to the bottom of the screen, you'll see all those tabs right there, and it's easy. I don't know what the key is to get right there, but that always works for me. Just
good.
saying. Thanks.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, new question. Asker.
Got
This is
3
Joe.
minutes. Okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, this is what
I've downloaded Translate, and I've chosen two separate languages, English and French. But then I have trouble using it after that. Does anybody have suggestions?
Translator.
Mhm.
Let's see. I know Eva was on the call earlier. She may have a suggestion. Anybody use Translator?
Audio now unmuted.
Joe, they do not have East Texas, so I do not use it.
I've been trying to also download Duo. What is the other term? It starts with L. It's for language.
Duolingo.
Duolingo. That's it. Yes. Is anybody using that one?
Who said that? Duolingo?
Lingo.
Duolingo.
Yes. Does anybody use that one?
Well, I've tried
Who is
it.
this?
This is Weber.
Oh, go ahead, Weber.
Yeah, I tried it, but it's pretty hard because we are studying a new language, so I don't know how to change like on the fly the language from voiceover. So I couldn't use, to be honest.
I understand that there's 2 versions of it. There's one that is a free version and one that's a paid version. And the free one has advertisements in it, and the other one doesn't. When I go in and to the Apple Store to download, it wants my account, and I don't want to accidentally get into the paid version. And that's why I didn't know what I should do.
Go ahead, Sandy.
No, I
This
said
is
even.
Mark in Montreal.
Oh, go ahead, Eva. I thought that was Sandy.
I used
teach someone that spoke a different language a couple years ago, and I used to use Google Translate, and that one worked well. It was accessible, but it's been a while since I've used any translation apps. But that's the one I would recommend.
Google Translate. Okay.
This is Mark in Montreal.
Go ahead, Mark.
I use Google Translate all the time because you got to remember I'm in Quebec, and you got to sometimes translate stuff into French, and I don't know the proper expression to use or whatever. So I do use it, and you set your primary language as English, your secondary language is French. Click
Yes.
over, make sure your microphone is enabled, click on conversation, and if you do it right, you can actually have a conversation back and forth, and it keeps going. And we'll run the conversation. You'll say something, and then it'll give it back, and the person could respond to you in their language, and it'll give it back to you in your language. So it works very well.
All right. Now, you before you hit conversation, what was the key that you hit before that?
You have to get conversation, and then there's one that says, I don't know if it says continue or ongoing or something like that. Once you've got the conversation key enabled and your microphone enabled, it might
Yes.
say continuous. It might
right.
say continuous.
Are you
And
able
that-
to add? Are you able to add things in on your part of the conversation?
Yeah, well, you just say, if I say bonjour and the guy says, if I say hi and the
Yes.
thing says bonjour and the guy
Yes.
says, comment ça va? Ça va bien? How are you? Are you well? It'll give it back
Yes.
to me, and you just keep going.
So you can use it verbally. You do not
Yeah.
have to type in.
No, I never type in.
Great.
Very good.
This is Herbie. All right.
Let's
this is
let's.
Sandhya.
I was
Yeah.
going to say we're at the halfway mark. We'll leave it there and we'll come back to it. Sandhya, just so you know, I think Weber had a question, so you
All
might
right, we will
pick
come
him
right
up
back.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Okay, so we are at the midpoint. So anybody that joined us since the initial introductions, we'd love for you to say hello and where you're from.
Nikki from San Francisco.
Welcome, Nikki.
Sorry I'm late. I was on TikTok.
That's fine. Okay, anybody else?
Ibrahim from
Kathy.
Boston.
Ibrahim, welcome. Kathy?
Kathy from Tulsa. I was
Welcome.
late.
That's fine.
Kelsey's here.
Kelsey, welcome.
Scott from Arizona.
Scott, well, glad to have you, sir. Who else?
Kenny from Missouri.
Kenny, welcome.
Donna from
Stephen
the
from
office.
Austin.
Donna from the office. Stephen, welcome.
Priscilla from Arlington.
Who's that from Arlington? Oh, Priscilla. Oh, my goodness. My dear queen. How are you? Good to have you. All right.
Well,
All right. And who else did I hear? Somebody else from Houston?
This is Mo from Houston.
Hey, Mo. Good to have you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Who else? Anybody else? Okay, very good. Glad to have all of you. Real quick recap. There's a lot to say, but I'll try to say it very quickly. So just tomorrow night is Clubhouse. It's a double header tomorrow. We got Clubhouse at 5 o'clock on the Clubhouse app, and then Mac and Talk at 7 on the Zoom, on this same Zoom conference line. Thursday, we have a new Clubhouse program called It's iBUG's Life, and that will be independent living skills. We're going to go shopping with George Batiste, and that'll be at 6 p.m. Central Time, once again on Clubhouse. And then we started our new book called Call Me By Your Name, DB 65344. Start reading now because it's going to be due on June 10th, and you will not be required to do any kind of book reports, but we would like for you to read it first. All right, now I know that I conveniently skipped Friday. What happened Friday? What's going to happen Friday? It's our iBUG night at the virtual movies, and with those lovely inscrutable clues is the iBUG guy. Mr. iBUG guy, are you there?
Yay!
Oh boy.
I needed those kids cheering yesterday.
Let's go. What you
Bring 'em
got?
back. All right, Friday night at the virtual movies. We've got a good one for you this week.
Oh, I forgot to tell him when it is.
It starts at 7:30 p.m. for our Central Time for our pre-social, And we're also going to play a little game trying to guess from playing some previous clips, little short clips from previous movies that we've watched over the past year, and see who can guess the most out of those. And then we'll start the movie around 8:15-ish, and then we will go ahead and have a discussion afterwards, like we usually do.
What's the movie?
The movie, you may ask. Well,
Yes.
before we get into the movie,
Oh no, Mr.
you
McCullough.
probably heard of synonyms and antonyms, but have you ever heard of contronyms?
No.
Contronyms. That's a word that can be used to mean two different things and kind of opposites. Like the word bound. The word bound, that could be like tied up or stuck in a certain place, but it can also mean heading to a certain destination, such as I'm homeward bound. Yay, Simon and Garfunkel. Then another one, transparent. A glass window is transparent. But then there may be some fact that is obviously such a key fact that it is transparent. It's so obvious that it's transparent. So anyway, a little tidbit for this week before we get into the clues for the week. Where are my clues?
Are our clues going to be transparent, sir?
Yes. All right, everybody, get ready for Michael's Movie Minutia.
Okay, just remember the rules, please. Say your name and wait to be recognized.
Say your name. Say your name. All right, clue number 1. Our film this week is a sentimental fantasy, but such fantasies are not harmful. I need to get sound effects.
No, you don't need sound effects.
All right, nobody's gonna. Nope. Do you have them unmuted?
Yes, they're unmuted. They're all.
All right. Clue number 2. We see a couple in the urgency of a young romance.
Shelby.
The
Notebook.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite movie.
Shelby is so correct.
What the? I love that movie.
What's the name?
2.
The Notebook. The Notebook.
Oh.
Wow.
The week I did not pick it.
Never heard of it.
The Notebook. And so we will be watching The Notebook. That is a sad but happy romantic.
I read the book to it. I was crying.
All right.
I read the book to it. It's awesome.
Very good.
This is Dan.
This is Nikki. Where does the transparency come
Dan,
in?
go ahead.
Hang on.
Dan's trying to ask a question.
Where's Johnny? We got to tell her what she won.
Yep, we're getting to that part. We had lots of conversation there. Okay. What's her name? Shelby.
Shelby.
All right, Johnny, what do we have for Shelby this week?
For Shelby, I thought you'd never ask. We have a hand-carved, assembled kitchen table in the iBUG colors.
It's unassembled. It's unassembled.
Unassembled? Oh, well,
Yeah.
you're going to have to assemble it yourself, I guess. But it's straight from... It's straight from IKEA, But it is in the iBUG colors. It is the kitchen table because there is a kitchen table that is prominently featured in this film. A lot of things take place around this kitchen table. And you too can have a beautiful kitchen table that reminds you of iBUG every time you sit down to eat your Cheerios.
Since it's your since it's your favorite movie,
Yes.
the
All
table
right.
is a very reasonable facsimile of the one used in the movie. Additionally, because it's unassembled, at our next It's About iBug's Life, we will be showing you how to assemble a table.
Oh my goodness. That I can't wait for. All right. Well, very good. Thank you for your wonderful clues, Mr. McCulloch.
This is Herbie.
That was beautiful.
I didn't even get through 2 of them.
I know. She did great. Okay. All right. So we're moving on. All right. So let's
Wait,
see.
before you move on, I have an answer for Linda had a question about exercising. There are a couple of other things. If you want a real live person Zoom call, there are, if you want to do yoga, there's something called Yoga for the Blind. And it's specifically designed for the blind to, be able to teach the blind. Then that's on Tuesday nights. I can't remember the time, 6 p.m. Tuesday night Central Time. Then there's also a group called Angel Eyes, and they have a couple of classes a week. And those are specifically designed for the blind also. I think actually one of those may be broadcast on ACB that Sri mentioned earlier. So
All right.
Anyway, a couple of other answers for that question.
Thank you, Mr. McCulloch. Would you like to say goodnight, please?
Good night, please.
Oh my goodness.
Be
All
sure
right.
to bring your tissue Friday.
This is Keith's favorite movie, so very good. Thank you so much, Mr. McCulloch. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program. Just a reminder that today is the 4th Monday, so we will have iChoice segment at 9 p.m. So that will be, Herbie will be talking about some very cool product. But before that, and we will, anytime remaining after it, we will continue with questions. But we still have time for questions, and we will come back to Weber. Weber, you had a question before the break, so now is your turn. And then everybody else, if you didn't have a turn previously, you start, thinking of your questions. We're coming to them, kind of get them right after Weber. Weber, go ahead. If you are there. If you're not there, we will move on. Okay, I guess not. Who else has a question? Somebody new? We'd like
This
for
is
some.
Kenny.
Okay, go ahead, Kenny.
Yes, I have an Apple Watch 6, and with the latest update, what I selected as my voiceover voice, the Siri voice, will not work if I power or restart the watch. Does anybody have heard of a fix?
All right, somebody new that hasn't had a turn would like to help Kenny with his problem with his Apple Watch and voices.
This is Marty.
Go ahead, Marty.
I had a question with the watch for Apple, and one of the things, I didn't have to do it, but one of the things they told me, which I didn't know, like powering off the watch is not the same as pressing both buttons simultaneously to restart the watch. Kind of reboots it, pressing the crown and the other button simultaneously for about 20 seconds. And it's like a hard reset. You don't lose your data.
Yes, you're correct.
Have you tried that?
Yes, both methods, including a repair, unpair and repair. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Okay.
Any other thoughts by anybody else or anybody? Questions about Apple Watch? Apple Watch owners? Problems like what Kenny's having? Okay, Kenny may have to table that one. So
Kenny, this is Marty again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you tried getting it from using the phone app instead of the watch itself? In other words,
You
the
mean
watch app on the phone.
enabling the voice, or what do
Well,
you mean by
you
getting
want
the?
you want to switch to the Siri voice, correct?
Yes, I've done that using the app, and then when I either turn the watch off or reboot the watch,
This is
my
Herbie.
voiceover is totally like it's got laryngitis. The only way I know it's turned off and on is it makes that little noise.
Okay, let's see if Herbie has a help, and then we'll move on. Go ahead, Herbie.
So one thing with the Apple Watch and voices is one time I was able to successfully switch it from Samantha to the Siri voice. However, it was not an instantaneous switch. Like I told it to switch one day and it didn't occur till like a couple days later. So I think that I've always felt that there's some software issues that Apple could really work on with the Apple Watch. They focus a lot more on like, workouts and health monitoring and all that. So, I think that there's some internal software things they could really work out when it comes to voiceover that could make it a little bit of a better process. So I don't think there's anything you can do other than wait and maybe it'll eventually propagate to the new voice or whatever. That's kind of been my
Well,
experience.
no, it uses this is Kenny. It uses the new voice, but if I have it on the Siri voice and I turn the watch off or restart it, then it has laryngitis. I've already contacted Apple, and they're graciously saying we are aware of the problem. Can we get a copy of your logs? And that's what they say all the time. And I'm like, well, it worked before 7.4.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, have you tried resetting the watch? I mean, I know that's a pain. Okay.
Yeah. I've repaired and unpaired it and repaired it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Okay, well,
including deleting the watch app from the phone and
wow.
Getting it.
This is Shree.
Go ahead, Tree.
Have you tried to switch it with Brad's watch and see if it works?
No, I have not.
Yeah, nice choice. Nice try. Not going to happen. All right. Thank you, Sri, for that unhelpful advice. Okay. Who else? Somebody new that hasn't had a turn would like to ask a question? Somebody new, please? Anybody?
Ibrahim.
Hang on, Ibrahim. We'll come back to you in just a minute. Anybody
This is
else?
David.
Go ahead. David?
While we're on the Apple Watch theme, I was wondering, is there a quick way to totally mute the watch, all alerts and everything? I know you can turn the voiceover off, with the triple click command, but all the little beeps and things could come in, dings, and I thought I read where you can cover the display and it's supposed to mute it. Like put your hand over it for.
Brad, go ahead.
Well, I think what you're thinking of is what they call silent mode. I mean, well, number one, when the watch rings, you can put your palm of your hand over it. I believe they say 3 seconds, and that will mute the ringing. That also, I believe, turns on a silent mode. Silent mode is like, they used to call it mute. And in recent Watch OS, they've changed it and now called silent mode. You can get to that. The watch has a control center similar to what you have on your watch. If you put 2 fingers on your watch face and flick up, it should open the control center, or you can also get to it. I believe a single finger flick up will go through several modes. One of them is notifications, and others, I think, control center. And then double tap, and that should open it. And then you can flick from left to right and go among the different items in the control center, and you should find silent mode in there.
All right.
Can Siri do that? Like, can you say like turn on do not disturb or turn on silent mode?
No, I'm not a big Siri fan, so.
Well, I'm not a huge, but every now and then.
You might be able to. You could try it and see.
Oddly enough, Siri seems to work better on the watch than on my phone. I don't know why.
It might.
Okay, Marty has a comment. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, I think Siri would do it, and to get to the control center, it's just down one swipe. one finger, swipe down once, and you're in the control center. And you go to the right about 3, well, you'll see it will say silent mode, and obviously it's off, so double tap would turn it on. And
very good. Thank you, Marty. All right,
Sure.
good luck, David. All right, anybody else? Somebody new? Somebody with a new question that hasn't had a turn?
This is
This is Gail. Oh,
Okay, Gail, go ahead.
okay. I have a Clubhouse question.
Okay, go ahead.
Lisa had sent me a join invite on March 17th. I know this is a long time ago. And I didn't know what to do with it. And so I didn't join Clubhouse. So that probably would not be, that invitation would not be valid now since it was March 17th. So I probably would need a new invitation now, right?
This is Brad.
This is Shelby.
Go ahead, Brad.
I don't believe the Clubhouse invitations expire. If you've still got it, it should still work.
Okay. So, and then, so then what do I do? I mean, when I open Clubhouse, I have to get I don't even know what I'll listen to the iBUG Cafe on Clubhouse, but I have to get a handle or something.
This is Shelby.
Go ahead, Shelby.
So, Linda, you can just tap the link that Lisa sent you. Then it will take you to the Clubhouse, and you can create your handle, like your username and so on and so forth. And then you automatically just, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. So I can just tap the join link first before I even do the name the username, and right?
This is
You
Keith.
can do that, yeah.
Okay, Keith?
I was just going to say the best thing to do is go ahead and download the app and then go to your text message and double tap that link. And when it brings you into the app itself, it'll walk you through exactly what it needs at the time. It's pretty self-explanatory from there. If you read the screen and swipe and enter as it directs you, you should be good to go.
Thank you, Keith. All right. Well,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I was gonna wait for the profile and just try to do the bare minimum to get in, and because I've already downloaded the app.
all right. Well, good. I mean, you can always go back and edit your profile. Just, get
Right.
in there and get started. There's you can always edit it. You can edit just about everything except for once you've set your name, you can't edit your name. So, all right. Well, thank you, Gail. Good question.
I just had one other question. How do you know if your name has been used? I mean, the handle, because I know like George had like 722 or something.
All right. Who would like to answer that? Anybody?
This is Brad.
Brad.
It'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
You type in a handle, it'll say that handle's not available or that handle's been taken.
Okay.
Just like,
Okay.
Okay. This is Brad. I wanted to
Hold
follow
on
up.
one second.
Okay.
All right. Just remember, everybody, you're going to need to please stay on mute. If you're planning on speaking, unmute. Okay. Go ahead, Brad.
Hey, I tried the Siri and it works. Just ask Siri to turn on silent mode or turn off silent mode. It worked like a champ.
Oh, a champ. All right. Poor Siri's getting a good rep
Not
today.
to be confused with a charm. Probably would have done that too.
Thank you, Brad. Okay. All right. And Sri, you had a comment. I'm sorry. Earlier, you want to comment? You had a question, comment?
Oh, no, I had a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So I wanted to see if anyone else experienced this while you were on an iMessage and you wrote something in the verbiage, and then you try to delete. When you hit the delete button and hold, it would start deleting and then it would stop. And then it had to go press double tap and hold again to delete. It would continue deleting, then it would stop. it didn't just go through from start from from start to deletion all the way down to the beginning. And I was wondering if anyone else has experienced that.
All right. Anybody having issues with deleting, holding the delete key and deleting? Anybody? Anybody having the problem Sri is having? Glenda.
Yes, it happened to me today.
Yeah, this is Gail. It happened to me on my Bluetooth keyboard.
All right. Okay. So there you have it. Sri, it's not you.
Good to know.
It's usually you, but it's not you. Chris, go ahead, Chris.
I have a question about adding headings to say like a notes file or a mail message file in the native apps. How do you do it?
Adding headings in notes. Aren't we getting fancy? All right. Who would like to help Chris? Miss.
Don't say it.
Okay.
Mum's the word.
Mum's the word. George Michael. All right. Who has a help for Chris? She needs some help, please. How to enter a heading in the Notes app. Okay.
This is Brad.
Brad, go ahead. Help Brad.
I really haven't done this, but I've seen it in other apps. I might go to your menu bar with no, never mind.
Thanks.
That was good. Thanks for trying, Brad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have a do-over? I have a second thing.
Okay, go ahead.
In Twitter, anybody out there, I'm sure you've seen this. If you go into Twitter and you tap on a retweet of or a quote or a comment of somebody else, so somebody tweets something and somebody else comments on it, and then you tap on that, if you try and actually like that secondary tweet, it sends you to the notifications tab. Has anybody else noticed that? And if you keep swiping to the right and you go into the comments of that secondary tweet, and then you swipe left and go up again and tap the like button, then it will take the like button. But you can't just like a secondary tweet because it sends me to the notification tab under the whatever the current version of Twitter is. Twitter app,
This
sorry.
is Keith.
Go ahead.
Are you using the native app, Chris?
I am. It's the native Twitter app.
Try to swipe up on the comment that you want to like. It should.
It's a secondary comment. So
Sure,
if somebody tweets something and somebody else
Right.
comments on it,
Yeah, you should be able to swipe up on it, and it should be one of the options, and just double tap.
it is. But if I double tap, it sends me to the notifications.
Oh, that's where. Okay.
Yeah. And but then if I continue to, if I swipe all the way down to the comment area, and then I swipe up again to get to the like little button, then I tap there. So if I'm coming down and I tap it, it sends me to the notification area. But if I'm coming up, it sends me to the then it will take the like at that point, which I find very odd. So
only
anybody
you,
else?
Oh, I was going to say only you.
This is Sri.
Wow. No, sorry. Was Sri? Is that you?
Yeah. So I was
Okay.
just going to go about the notes heading. What you do is when you open up the notes app, go ahead and flick right till you hear format. Double tap on
Right.
format, then flick right, and about the third flicking right should be heading.
Wow.
Yeah, this is Brad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I found it. It's not, I was thinking it was top of the screen, but no, it's above the keyboard. And like Sri said, if you flick around, you will find a button, and they call it a menu bar, which is what I was thinking. It is
Right.
above the keyboard, not at the top of the screen, and it will open up, and it's got headings, subheadings, and things like that. It's pretty simple.
Wow. Pretty
Wait, so
I knew I was
snazzy.
close. I knew I'd seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it. So do you select the text before or after you select the heading part of it?
He
This
hasn't
is Sri.
tried it.
with-
Sri.
That would be the ing and the ang. I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter.
No, I don't think it matters.
Just say it doesn't matter. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Thank you, Sri. All right. So
Thanks. Thank you.
very good questions, Chris. We're so glad to have you. Okay. We're echoing. Okay, so now this brings us to in 1 minute. Does anybody have a 1 minute question? You can ask it now, very quickly.
This is Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy. Got 1 minute.
I have a follow-up.
That
Okay.
was a few months ago, probably, but I think Marty was talking about some of the games and how there was this new, now I can't remember what it's called, but this thing where you can't touch part of the screen. It says, anyway,
Oh,
I'm
yes,
able
yes.
to,
I
I'm
remember
able to
that.
play the blindfold games. I played Wheel of Fortune, which is called Years of Fortune or something like that. And I just wanted to say that I played around in the settings and I got it so I can spin the wheel. I just have to avoid certain parts of the screen, and I still can't figure out what that is for.
Okay.
But
The
and I
touch
can't
area.
even-
I think it's called touch area or something weird like
yeah,
that.
it's something. I
Yeah.
can't think of it. That's my
Yes,
problem. I can't remember what anything's called, but it so it does work. You can sort of
It's
work
Ibrahim.
around it.
Okay, go ahead, Ibrahim.
It's called Direct Touch, and it drives me crazy since it's popping up
Direct
in blindfold games everywhere, and it slows me
Okay.
down.
Okay, well,
But
Kathy
I
is saying that you can now do it even with that. So
And if
go
you go into settings and either turn it on or turn it off, because I can't remember which works, but one of them does give you back the rest of the screen, but you still get direct touch when you touch somewhere near the bottom right.
Okay,
Just don't go
so
there.
avoid
How
the
do you turn it
bottom
off,
right.
Kathy?
What? In
How do you turn off
settings.
that setting?
Go into settings
Yeah.
for the game.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right. Very good, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. And you have exceeded the 1 minute. So thank you. Good question. Perfect timing. And now we will be, like I said, we're going to be doing the iToys segment. Fourth Monday is iToys. We get to feature a piece of hardware. So one moment here. And then we will, like I said, after whatever time remaining, we will come back and have more questions. So hold on. All right, Herbie, you should be able
All
to unmute.
right.
Okay, go for it. It's all yours, sir. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. And so last month, Brad talked about his AirPods Max, and I'm going to be talking about a lower end model of headphones, the Bose 700 series. By lower end, they're only it's about $100 price difference. I'm actually, in some respects, wondering if I should have gotten the AirPods Max, but we will see. So I splurged on these earlier in the year. These are the Bose Nc 700 with Alexa voice control, though the latter part is actually a little bit deceiving. Not in a bad way, but it is very interesting. Now, the headphones themselves, I've got them right here. They're not as lightweight as some of the previous Bose headphones. But they are a pretty comfortable fit. However, the way it looks is you've got this little soft headband thing, and it has like an extra ridge on the top. And then on the side, you've got your two earphones, and they are on a swivel thing, which is very interesting because if you take one off of your ears, you could almost lose them because those suddenly go spinning out of control. It's rather interesting. But they swivel so you can have them flat if you need to wear them around your neck, or upright so you can put them on your ears. The right ear cuff has two buttons and a touch sensor. And multiple touch sensors, actually, I think. And the left, it also has the charging port. And the left side has one button and a port where you can plug in a standard jack to use it as a wired pair of headphones. So, yes, I did mention touch sensors, and that's created a very interesting experience, but, and there's probably a lot more I have to learn about those too. I will talk about them in a minute. Pairing the headphones is pretty easy. There's nothing to distinguish the different buttons and how they feel, so I think I just guessed that the top one would be the on-off button, and it is. What these do, though, is now when you turn them on, it actually plays a little musical tone. Let's see if I can actually let you hear it. Let's see here. Let me make sure. Okay, let's see if this will come through.
Battery, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Connected to Kirk's iPhone.
Okay, I don't know how well that came out.
It's
But
pretty low, but yeah, we could hear a little bit. Yeah.
okay, I mean, you get the idea that they play music and then they talk. And when you first turn them on, it'll say ready to pair. But instead of giving you a battery percentage, it tells you how many hours of battery life you have. And it's the max I've seen is about 18. I thought it could be up to 20, but it seems to be about 18. And then when you pair them with your phone, it's going to tell you to download the music app for additional functionality. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Also, though, the other thing you need to know is that the charging cable is not your standard one. It is a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. And so you'll need to, if you can't interchange it with like some of your other standard Bluetooth chargers, like say if you have, I think there's a model of Shocks now that uses USB-C, but most of your like other Bose devices or whatever, they use the old micro USB. So if you cannot interchange that because it just won't fit. So that's something you need to be aware of. You can plug it into a computer, or in my case, I plug it into a power bank that is USB capable. And the nice thing about that, though, is it just fits right in. You don't have to make sure it's facing a certain way or whatever. If you need to, the thing that gets confusing now, if you want to repair the headphones, you hold down the button to turn it instead of turning it off. And if you want to just turn them off, you just quickly press the button. So getting used to the button presses is a bit interesting. The other button on your right side is your voice control. Now, this is where it's I found it a bit deceiving when it says with Alexa voice control. I assumed that Alexa was built into the device. However, that is not the case. You actually have to use the Alexa app on your phone, so you have to make sure it's open. But you don't even have to have it tied to Alexa. By default, it'll be tied to your Siri. And so that's one of the things you have to change in the music app if you want to be able to use Alexa. And I do like that experience. I think it probably will freak Chanel out a couple times because I'll be talking to my Alexa, but she won't be hearing anything back because it's coming through my headphones. And so I could be listening to music and ask Alexa something. The left button, that is your noise canceling level control. But this goes into something I don't like about these headphones, because you're tied into one extreme or another. So you can go from 0, which is transparency mode, which means that the microphones and the earphones pick up everything around you. And then you can go to different noise canceling level modes, and the button will let you cycle between 3 modes, but you can use the app to fine tune the button. So if you only wanted at noise canceling level 1, you can use the app to do that. And since we're talking more about hardware, I'm not going to demo the app, but if you sign into your Bose account, and I think now they've even made it so that you don't have to in the music app, from what I remember, that was pretty accessible. I wish there was a way to turn the transparency stuff off, just have it work like a regular pair of headphones with no noise thing whatsoever. But the closest you can do that is noise canceling level 1. And so that's been my experience with that. And now the touch sensors. This was a little bit of a learning curve for me, and I need to really look to see if there's any documentation that actually does further explain if there's any more gestures I can do with them. But I have found some touch sensors on the right side of the ear, and it seems to not matter so much which side of the phone you earphone you press. I think it's the side with the buttons more so than not. But you can, if you do a press and hold, that will enable or disable the wake up word. So if you have Siri, then that would be Hey Siri, Alexa, Alexa, Google, Hey Google or whatever. I personally don't like the wake up word on. I prefer it off because I find that it's a lot more sensitive. So, somebody will just randomly say something and my Alexa in the the wake up word in the headphones is listening and all of a sudden it, starts talking at me. So I found it to be a bit distracting. So I recommend having the wake up word off, and then you can just use the side button, that I mentioned earlier, your Alexa Siri button. What you do is you just press that and you don't even have to hold it. You just press it and it'll make, in the Alexa case, it'll make a little tone and you start talking. And if you're in the middle of a conversation, like I play this skill called Question of the Day, while that conversation is going, you don't even have to keep pressing the button. You can sit there and talk to it like you normally would. And the other thing you have is our Magic Tap equivalent, which is literally tapping the touch sensor twice. And that is your play pause, and that also answers and hang up disconnects phone calls. You can take phone calls with it, and the audio quality is good for Bluetooth. How the headphones sound? Well, they do have a very good sound overall, and it's what you would expect from Bose. Very good bass, very sharp sound. It's just a little bit interesting getting used to how you adjust the headphones too, because you kind of have to push on the little bar things on the side to move each side up and down, and it's probably not the best description. And these were about $400. I think I did get a care warranty thingy for them, which took the price up a tiny bit. And in my case, I was even able to get same-day shipping, though they sent it to the wrong address. We won't talk about that. They dropped it off at the wrong apartment, rather. And I was lucky to even get these. And I'm, so the thing I've not seen is any way to control a volume level on the headphones. Again, there might be some kind of touch sensor gesture that I've missed that I need to go research. So I have to use the phone for the volume control. And I have to decide, do I want transparency or, not hearing stuff around me? I have to go from one extreme to the other. And that's the thing I really don't like about them. And with that, I will take your questions.
All right, people can say your name and wait to be recognized if you have a question for Herbie about the Bose headphones.
Marty?
This is Donna.
All right, Marty, then Donna.
Okay. What did you say the model number was, Herbie?
So I will post this on the Facebook group, but it's the NC 700.
Okay. Is there a difference between, I've seen a QC.
Yeah, QC,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and my other
Quiet
question
comfort.
is,
I get the headphones say one thing, Amazon says another thing, and that throws me off. But I think it is the QC, which does stand for quiet comfort, and the headphones are well padded. It is,
yeah.
they are comfortable to
Also,
wear.
some of the things that you mentioned about, can you control some of these functions in the app? Like some of the functions that you mentioned you can control in the headset. Can you control them in the app?
Yes, and like I said, you will need the app if you want to make sure that you have access to Alexa through your headphones, and then afterwards you do have to have the Alexa app open on your phone, otherwise, or whatever device you're using, otherwise it'll say the app has to be open. But yeah, you can do a lot of the functionality within, it's called the Music app, and it uses, well, another thing that was really interesting is because I do have a Bose app on my phone for another set of Bose products, but this one specifically uses a different app called the Music app. Or Bose Music app. So, yeah.
This is Ibrahim.
All right, Donna first and then Ibrahim.
Okay, on the being able to turn the volume up and down on those, you will do a 2-finger touch on the sensor and slide up or down.
Ah, that is good to know. I will give that a try.
And then on the noise canceling on mine, I didn't adjust anything in the app. It goes from 0 to 5 to 10.
Yes. But if you do want to adjust it so that it goes to like say 1 or 2, that you can adjust in the app. But by default, it will go between 0, 5, and 10. And I wish it was a little less chatty. That's the other thing too that I don't like, because whenever you pair whenever you turn them on, or whenever you do a function on them, like switch noise it'll go noise canceling 5, and now you've lost a few seconds of whatever it is you're listening to because it kind of talks slowly. And one other interesting bug that I have come across, and Donna, I don't know if you've had this happen to you or not, is like, so I will charge my headphones, unplug them, turn them on, and it'll say I have 2 hours of battery life, and then the next time it'll say I actually have 18 hours.
No, I've not had that situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. All right.
You got to hold your tongue the right way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess so. I will do that. Okay. Did you have any other comments or questions?
Yeah, this is Gail.
All right. Hold on, Gail. All right. Everybody, please. It would be very helpful if you remember that there are people, who's ahead of you, because, I'm going to keep order here. So Ibrahim and then Gail. And somebody is unmuted with a brailler or something. If you could please go on mute. Only Ibrahim and myself should be unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I used to have the Bose Comfort 32 or whatever they're called. And when I had the app, it would whenever I turned them on or off, it would go straight to high noise canceling. Does that happen to you with these pair?
No, these do remember your last setting.
Sorry?
These remember your whatever setting you had it last on.
Oh, okay. And do you find that that's the case with your other comforts? Because I had a pair and they kept doing that whenever I turned them on.
The other Bose headphones that I've gotten in the past did not even have the noise canceling features on, so I don't have anything else to compare it to in that regards.
Okay.
I have an cheaper pair of Bose headphones that were starting to get worn out, and they just are simple on-off volume, and then an older pair of Bose headphones from like 2015, and that didn't have the noise canceling.
How good are the headphones on like this, a Zoom call and stuff like that?
Well, it's Bluetooth, so it's going to be as good as Bluetooth is, which is not very. So, I'm sorry, but Bluetooth audio, it's decent. It works, but it's not the best quality because Bluetooth is, restricts the audio. So it's, you're never going to beat a wired pair of headphones with, Bluetooth compared to Bluetooth when it comes to things like that. So the short answer is, it works to a point, but a lot better than Bluetooth devices used to be. But
with Zoom, with Bose, so I gave up on them. So maybe I'll try them again.
Yep, maybe. Okay, Gail.
Okay, I had a couple of questions. Trying to remember now. One, you were saying that they swivel, and when they swivel, they fall off.
So sometimes, like, somebody will be asking me something, and so like I'll take one headphone off, because I want to hear the other person, but I still want to hear what I'm listening to. And the next thing you know, they're about to fall off my head because it takes it as a swiveling motion, and so the other side is starting to like spin on its little pivot, and so I've managed to keep them from crashing to the floor so far, but it is you do have to have a little bit of good dexterity if you're going to do that. Otherwise, if that's not a strong point of yours, then you can wear them around your neck, or just turn off whatever you're listening to or whatever, and go to transparency mode and hear the person clearly that way. So
okay, and the question I had. How do they, when they're in the transparent, no, noise cancellation mode, how do they compare to the AirPods Pro?
So that's a good question. And I've barely worn these while I'm out. I'd say they're maybe a little bit better. But that's a tricky one because you have to, so these go over the ear. And that's why they're called quiet comforts, where the AirPods Pro go in the ear. I'd say, that the AirPods, because it's a better fit, that's what makes them a little bit better. But the difference between the Bose versus the AirPods 2 is Bose, you can control the levels of the noise cancellation, whereas the AirPods, you're stuck with one. And, so that's really my best answer. I don't know of a level that really compares the two in terms of, actual baseline, but in my experience, I'd say the Bose are a tiny bit better, but that could be more just because of their design more than anything else. All
This
right.
is Shri.
Shri, yes.
Herbie, can you change the wake word to something else besides the standard default one?
I would imagine that you probably could, but that would be within the Alexa app, not within the headphones. Because the headphones themselves do not have the assistant built into them. It actually relies on whatever app you're using on your phone or device. So you would actually change the wake word within the Alexa app itself, not the headphones. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I use, we have so many different Echo devices and they all have different wake words. So that's not something I've, particularly been, played around with much there. So great question, Shri, and everybody else so far. And anyone else?
This is Brad.
Brad, and then Kathy.
I'm curious. You said that you have to have the Alexa app open on your phone, not just the headphones connected to the phone.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. That kind of surprised me too, but yeah.
Did you have the older QC35 too?
No, I did not.
Because I do, and I don't believe I ever have to have. I'd have to be connected to my phone. Those allow you to be connected to, two devices at the same time, like your computer.
I was a bit
iPhone.
surprised too because I thought that okay, so you have Alexa built in, but it didn't even by default. It didn't even default to Alexa. It defaulted to Siri. I had to go to download their app and then change it to
I think
Alexa.
QC I have, your choice was the Google Assistant or
Right.
Alexa
I got the choice
Assistant.
of Google.
I don't think they had Siri. It was an option.
Okay. Yep. Nope.
Maybe it was. I don't remember. I just paired mine.
Yeah, these defaulted
Alexa.
to Siri. Yep. When I connected them, they defaulted to Siri, and then I went to the app, and then I had the choice of Siri, Google, Alexa, and then I hit Alexa, and then if I have that app closed, it gives me grief and says, "Nope, you got to have the app open."
And you say you're able to give the trigger word. I don't think on mine you're able to do that. You just have to hit the button on the side to do it.
Nope, mine you can do the trigger word if you turn that feature on.
And another question, like other Bose I've had, I think I'm able to pair them with multiple devices, and then there's a button on them that I can use to rotate through the different devices, like, one Mac, two Mac, iPhone, iPad, something like that, move through them. And you're able to do that?
I definitely know you can pair them to other devices because I've accidentally held down the button too long, and instead of turning them off, it says pair with another device. So I need to try that and see if I can cycle through the devices.
Okay.
But you definitely can pair with multiple devices because I've seen that functionality there. So.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, Kathy.
I don't know if this is far afield, but can you say a few words about noise canceling? I tried one time. I thought on a plane it would be good to noise canceling, and I think they made me nauseous. And I don't know if that's just some, maybe I imagined it, but.
Well, so the rules apply to everything except air travel. That's a totally different ballgame, in my opinion. Okay, so noise cancellation, the idea, and I don't think that's too far afield. Sandhya is the lawyer, though, so she'll correct me if I'm wrong. But you make me think of Perry Mason books now. Okay, we won't go there. Anyway, to answer your question, so what noise cancellation does is, of course, is it uses a hissing noise in the headphones, and it uses microphones to change the sound so that way cancels the sound out so that you hear nothing around you except as a very faint thing or whatever. And then if you're playing music or whatever, that'll really help drown stuff out. And it is an interesting feeling, especially if you're not used to it. If you're on an airplane, you got turbulence, it might be like sitting on a quiet thing where maybe you feel the vibration of the engine, but that's it. And you're also in a pressurized cabin. The noise cancellation does put a little bit of pressure on your ears, so I definitely could see how that would be the case. I would say if that's something you want to play with, get used to noise cancellation in general, so that way you're more used to it when you fly next.
This is Sandhya.
Sandhya, yes.
Well, this is a question for Kathy. I mean, have you used noise cancellation in other contexts, or just
Not really? I think I just thought, wow, what a great idea. I'll use these on the plane so that I don't hear all the engine noise and stuff, and I can listen to music. But so I guess I
just want to know if you're using noise cancellation, what happens if all the people around you start screaming because the plane's crashing? That's what I want.
Who cares? What am I going to do anyway? I got to finish my song.
Good. That's the way I see it. All right. Sandhya, yes.
So I mean, I would really encourage you to try it. Maybe, because I think it's amazing. We ride paratransit, and it's just like people talking and all kinds of noise.
And Sandhya, I got to ask too, do you use it to drown out your parents, when they're telling you
No, not actually. I haven't used it since the pandemic, but I mean, on a transit, like in a public transportation situation, it is amazing. It's completely silent. I mean, you can barely hear, like the radio or whatever for the the metro people's radio. But it's great. So
just
I would
make
really
sure you're paying attention to when it's your stop.
Don't let that discourage you. I would definitely try it again. So it's great.
And I do hold on. Just okay, Brad, then Gail, and just I want to mention too. And of course, like I said, the airplane, it being a pressurized cabin is really going to affect your senses too. So I just wanted to remind that.
Okay, we got
Brad.
3 minutes. So, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, I have flown many times with my QC35s, and I've never tried it. I haven't had opportunity yet with my AirPod Max, but I found the noise canceling. It doesn't get rid of everything, but it certainly dampens the majority of the noise. And like I said, I've used them on extended flights. Some short ones, a couple hours to many hours.
Definitely.
And I've never had a problem.
But you and I are used to noise canceling. And of course, if you have motion sickness, sorry to cut you off for a short on time, but if you're
that's fine.
Prone to motion sickness or anything like that. Okay, Gail, before we get to you, does anybody else actually have any questions first who's not gotten a chance? Nope. Okay, Gail, you're it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I had a question on the noise cancellation because I'm Metrolift. I'm paratransit because I use AirPods and the AirPods Pro. And I wonder if I'm doing something wrong then, because I can still hear everything on Metrolift.
Well, remember those big buses, the roads, these bumpy roads. I mean, it's going to drown out stuff. Just make sure you go in your AirPods Pro settings and make sure that noise cancellation is turned on. You can do that under settings and swiping up under more info on the Bluetooth. And if you have any further questions about that, message me on Facebook or whatever, and we can talk about that outside the call.
Okay.
And with that, I will turn things back over to Sandhya.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Thank you, Herbie. That's pretty cool. I mean, these headphones, the ones from last time, and then this time, I'm getting kind of tempted. I've never had over-the-ear headphones, so maybe
If anybody ever gets both pairs, I'd love to know how the two, what your experiences are with both.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Herbie. All right, so just wrapping up, thank you to Keith for helping facilitate the beginning of the call, and thank you for all your participation. We will be, like we said, real quick recap tomorrow's Clubhouse, 5 o'clock, then Mac and Talk at 7. Then the new segment on Clubhouse, it's iBUG's Life on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And then the movie is The Notebook for Friday at 7:30, and we're gonna have our movie game. So please come for that. That'll be fun for those of you who've been listening to movies with us for the last year. Come and check out your knowledge. And then we are off on the weekend, Memorial Weekend, but we will be here next Monday. All right. So we will be back next Monday. So thank you all to everyone. And this is good night for now. All right. So take care. Thank you. And thank you, Herbie.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay,
night.
thank you.
Good night.